Good morning, everybody, or good day or good evening, depends on the place from which you are attending. Today we will go through new approaches to track and trace, and I just want to wait for maybe 5 minutes, maybe 3-5 minutes for everybody to join, because today we had a lot of registrations, and I hope that most of potential participants will be real participants. So let's wait a bit.
Good morning, Arif. Nice to see you. And I am sure that today you will have a very, very exciting presentation to share with colleagues. So I'm so excited to have you in this meeting. And I'll give an introduction very soon as colleagues have joined. I can see they're still joining. So we will start maybe in a couple of minutes and request colleagues to be online and enjoy the session which we are going to conduct in a moment.
Thank you, Arjun. Also, good luck for you.
Thank you.
Once again, hello to everybody who has just joined this webinar. Now we are waiting a bit for the rest of participants, and we will start very, very soon. So
yeah, I can see if the list is getting on added. So maybe we give another minute and then we start.
Yes. Yes.
I hope it will be okay with everybody, right?
Yes. Let's have one more minute.
Yeah.
It's better to start, because today we have a lot of content, a lot of new information that may be interesting for you. Basically, today we have more marketing event than educational event, but still this approach that we give to the market, and especially we want to give to Indian market, is very, very new, and maybe this approach will be interesting for you, and we can work together to apply these principles, these track and trace solutions in your companies. Also, we usually provide a lot of educational events, and I hope we will do at least several events for Indian market. I mean, full educational without any marketing, without our products and so on. But we are at Utrace and CONVAL Group also, we are providing such kind of educational events to the markets, and we call it serialization talks. We have serialization talks for CIS now. Also, we did several serialization talks for European market, and now I think it's time to start with serialization talks for Asia, for Pacific, India, and so on. Especially, we know that serialization is starting in new countries like Indonesia. Full track and trace will be in 2025, in Bahrain, which was introduced recently, Saudi Arabia, and so on.
Malaysia is actually conducting a meeting today as we speak. So the entire South Asian market is waking up.
Okay.
The new serialization. So, Arif, let's get started.
Let's start. Yes.
Already crossed 5 minutes from the session, so I would just like to start with a good morning and good afternoon and a very warm welcome to all colleagues who have taken time out to join this webinar from South Asia, the Indian subcontinent, Central Asian countries, our colleagues from Gulf countries, Turkey, colleagues from Europe, spanning across from the Balkans to the Urals. I am Arjun Guha Thakurta, Life Science Director of Operations of CONVAL Group and your host for this session. Today, we are here to discuss a very pertinent and priority topic on track and trace for new and emerging markets, including the CIS region. India is a leader in drug manufacturing, producing 10% of global pharmaceuticals, with 2020-21 exports valued more than 60 billion US dollars. The sheer volumes of generic pharmaceuticals manufactured in India and its worldwide distribution through a complex maze of supply distribution networks makes India's position both central and significant. The Indian manufacturers operate either as manufacturing authorization holders or as contract manufacturing organizations, which we call as CMOs, to the parent organization directly or through a broker. There are also many merchant exporters who are purely engaged in commercial trading, and they are quite a large in number from India, supplying to so many countries across the world. It is therefore crucial that Indian exporters adapt and comply with regulatory requirements for serialization and traceability, and more importantly, adapt their business processes like packaging, warehousing, transportation management, and logistics in such a way which does not break the fragile chain of serialized inventory. Several countries around the world have already enacted their own country-specific serialization and traceability mandates to support the manufacture and distribution of safe, high-quality drugs. With this background, I welcome our partner Utrace to India and South Asia to conduct this webinar. And I would like to take this opportunity to again welcome all colleagues to this session. I will take a couple of minutes to introduce CONVAL Group. Although all of you know us for quite a long while now, we are here for 10 plus years. We are on our 11th year, and we would like to continue for another 10 plus years. So I'll just go through a very briefly about our company. We, as CONVAL Group, carry over 20 plus years of technically rich experience and expertise in CGMP, GLP, GCP, and GAMP. With global team of 70 plus compliance, auditing, and validation consultants, with effective skill sets, we can deliver or support in every stage of automated system lifecycle. Along with this focus expertise towards digital compliance, we provide in-depth knowledge and competence in the life science organizations for their analytical compliance, QMS, validation, auditing, and serialization, training, quality assurance, and project management needs. With up-to-date technical expertise and professional skill sets, each of our consultants brings CONVAL's 300 plus years of life science consulting experience to you. We have offices across the world, and let me just run through where we have it. So here you see on the slide, you see we started off in Toronto, Canada, Istanbul, Turkey, then Pune, India, and we expanded further to Bratislava, UK, and we have recently opened our office in Holland. With that, I would like to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Arif Gadzier, and over to you, Arif.
Hello, Arjun. Thank you very much for this introduction of CONVAL Group. I hope that our partnership on Indian market, Indonesia and Bangladesh markets will be very, very smooth. And I know that you have a great expertise there, and we have a great solution. So the partnership and our collaboration may bring to the market the best services, the best serialization services that ever company had. Today, thank you again for introduction. We will talk. Again, my name is Arif Gajif. I'm Director of Business Development at Utrace. At Utrace, we provide different kind of serialization services and products. I will talk a bit about them later. But let's go briefly through today's agenda. I would like to know that today we will talk about our solution, which is focused on emerging markets. Of course, we will talk about emerging markets like CIS, Indonesia, Bahrain, Saudi, so on. However, in today's discussion, I will focus on solution for Russia, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. As these markets are very indicative in terms of details and characteristics of emerging markets. In addition, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and CIS markets, they are being launched in the very near future, and they have many specifics, including cryptographic protection of codes and separate systems for issuing codes and for traceability and so on. I would like to start with our company. I will tell you a little story about how the company Utrace appeared and why we have the right to call ourselves experts in serialization. Utrace was founded in 2017 as a spin-off from a large Russian IT integrator called Navicon. Navicon provides solutions for various vendors, generally for pharmaceutical companies. Navicon is a partner for such companies as IBM, Microsoft. It implements ERP, BI, CRM solutions, and so on. In 2017, when the Russian government presented the National Traceability Project, Navicon customers were asked to choose and implement a track and trace solution. And it was not possible to choose a solution since the major players didn't want to invest in development of the products for Russian markets, because no one believed that such a complex serialization concept would be implemented. Therefore, we decided to make our own solution for Russian market. So the Utrace project was allocated to a separate company, and since 2020 we have been developing international solutions. For example, we have made the most convenient and most cost-efficient solution for CIS market, for Russia market, and also some customers asked us to develop extensions for the market of Bahrain, Europe, and now we're entering the market of Indonesia, where we will, I think, seriously compete with traditional vendors. Now Utrace team is of 90 people, more than 90 people, and 2/3 of which, approximately 60 experts, they are engaged in product development and support. And this results in more than 40 successful implementations of our system in international pharmaceutical companies. And we have already developed 4 products ranging from the classic traceability system like Utrace Hub to distribution analytics solutions based on the traceability systems data. If we are talking about our geography you can see that currently we are not only working in Russia, we have representatives and different offices throughout the world, generally in European and Asia part of the globe. And here I have allocated the office in India, in Pune. You can discuss all issues related to implementation in this region with me or with my colleague from CONVAL Group, Madan Joshi. Please, you can screen this telephone and email and get back to me as soon as it is important, as it is necessary. Okay, so what can I say also regarding the value proposition of our company? We have always shared the values of long-term partnership. And to be successful here, our products must have serious characteristics and they must differ from competitors. When we develop solution, we focus on three aspects: reliability, scalability, and intelligence. In terms of reliability, we have created an almost trouble-free and quickly scalable solution. It very much differs us from the competitors with very heavy, they usually have very heavy solutions, and the total volume of marking codes now, which comes through Utrace, is 20 billion SGTs per year. And we are absolute leaders on Russian and CIS markets with 40% market share. And of course, we are one step ahead of the competitors using agile technologies and offering the automated solution. If we talk about our clients, all our customers are 100% reference. If it is necessary, we can provide recommendations, and you can communicate with each of our customer to so they can share the experience of working with us. In any case, that's all for Utrace introduction, and let's talk about the solution and our approach. First of all, I would like to describe Utrace One approach. Approach means that we have several solutions and several services that can cover all the needs of different companies. What is the main problem with major solution? They give you just a program and say, hey, you may buy it for this price and you will be compliant. But they usually don't care about your business maturity, your cost price, your regional strategy, the state of the business. And sometimes you can't afford SAP. SAP is a great solution, but not every company can buy and support SAP. That's why we decided to be a part of this and to support different types of companies. On the next slide, I will go through, through the regulations update for some countries, and I'll focus, as today we have focused on CIS, I'll focus on some CIS CIS specifics, like in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, and we will go through this CIS specifics, and you will see that, for example, in the markets which are launching in CIS, which have already launched or which are going, which will be launching in future, they have their similar specifics, and they go generally on the way with Russian-like serialization. So they have specific requirements for cryptography. They have specific requirements for aggregations. They have separated systems with codes management and traceability management. So, for example, to receive the codes, you should ask the regulatory system to give you these codes with the cryptographic protection. And also the systems that are implemented in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and that will be implemented soon in Kyrgyzstan and Belarus and in Armenia, they will be very, very similar. So it means that if we start with the one market in CIS, it will be very easy to expand the solution for the other markets. If we're talking about Uzbekistan, we all know that from the 1st of September, serialization in secondary parks is starting, and there are some speculations about movement of this date on the later. I think that it is highly probable that it will be moved. We don't know for which period, but still the regulator says that we should stick to the date, but market participants say that with high probability the date will be moved from the 1st of September. However, we are ready to support serialization from 1st of September, and there are also very important things here. The first is the Uzbekistan serialization is very much differs from the others because all MEH, marketing authorization holders, they are the part of the turnover participants, so they must request the crypto codes and they must apply it on the product. So it's the responsibility of each MEH. So if you are producing for the Uzbekistan, for Uzbekistan, it's your responsibility as the CMO or as the marketing authorization holder to apply these codes on the packs and to report these codes. In Kazakhstan, it's a bit different because in Kazakhstan, it's the responsibility of the local entity. And still in Uzbekistan, there is a problem with getting electronic signature. We have passed this way with several companies. So if you have such a problem, if you have the problem with the serialization aspects for Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, and you need to get more information and more support, please write me. We will help you. It's for us, it's quite simple to communicate with the regulator, and we can solve all the tasks that you stick with, that you stuck with, and if it is required, please be welcome. We obviously can help with with the regulatory questions. If we're talking about Kazakhstan, again, I can say that the serialization date also was put on the 1st of October, but there are very not even the rumors, but there are also the information from inside information from regulator that the dates will be moved from 3 to 6 months. So for Kazakhstan, we can expect serialization starting next year or from the March of next year. And other CIS countries are going to be implemented in 2023 or 2025, especially EU countries like Armenia, Belarus, and Kyrgyzstan. Okay, so I would like to go back to the history of our company once again and analyze why companies such as Bayer, let's say Novartis, MSD, and so on, eventually choose a local solution, why they choose Utrace. After all, many global companies have a corporate standard. They call it corporate template. And it seems very convenient to have one system, right? Not several systems. But that's not exactly. Unfortunately, sometimes the global solutions become so heavy and inflexible that it is catastrophically difficult to connect a new market, or it costs so much money. I'll give you an example. You may face it. When serialization was launched in Russia, there were changes in API methods and processes every month. The big vendors simply couldn't keep up with the market. And in general, the specific of emerging markets are that they are less predictable. But for us, uncertainty is the routine. I think for many emerging markets, uncertainty is the routine. Well, the authorization, if the authorization principle has changed, that's not a problem. We are making a revision and putting in the next release cycle ready. Thus, we have a pool of clients who saw that the regional solution is more flexible, more automated, and even cheaper. And there is a professional implementation team from our side. So the connection of new emerging markets to Utrace was the expected results. By 2025, we are planning to completely meet the serialization requirements in CIS countries and several countries in Middle East and Central Asia. So in this case, you see that the Utrace for these countries becomes the second serialization template together with the primary serialization template, and in Utrace we're going to cover more and more emerging markets. But what specifically the companies thought when they were choosing us? We've made research and found that the most important criteria that international companies expect from track and trace solution vendors, we outlined 5 such criteria. First is reliability. The vendor should have wide portfolio and, what's more important, reference clients. But today we'll talk about our customer service. It's a very interesting topic a bit later. Second is, as I put it, keeping stability zones. There are some untouchable processes like equipment, serialization software on the plants, ERP integrations. For example, if we're talking about CIS markets, most of them will reuse Russian MDLP standards or GSMT standards, but you can't just reuse your equipment software, because in this case you need to say to your track and trace solution, okay, this request goes to Kazakhstan and this goes to Uzbekistan. And a simple task may be a nightmare if you start to change your equipment software. Our philosophy is to keep the current way of working and route the request in the correct L5 system based on smart and predefined rules in our system in Utrace. It's faster and it requires no changes on your side, and thus it results in less investments. The third is flexibility and reaction on change. I've already told about the changes, in Russian serialization, and the recent changes, for example, with crypto request authorization, which were changed very, very unpredictably, and it affected many production sites, except of those who work with Utrace, because we provided such level of flexibility that our customers didn't even mention this change, and their production works stably. And last but not the least is unit economy, and I want to stop a bit on this on this point. The ideal vendor should prove understanding of your unit economy. We'll know that business in different countries may be different. For example, you are as Indian producer or Indian MEH, you have business in Uzbekistan and in Russia, for example, and maybe in the United States. And of course, we understand that the amount of this business is very, very different. On one country, you sell more, on another country, you sell less. And your solution provider should match your business maturity with the offer that he makes to us. Let's talk about it. What do I mean by business maturity? Let me share the results of one exercise that our analyst did. This is our internal model, how we segment our customers before we propose them something. We usually look at 4 key elements: the volumes on the specific market, the variety of GTINs, the operational and the business structure. And we try to think as our customers does. For example, we found out that in general cases, volumes that more than 1,200,000 per year for specific market, for example, for Uzbekistan, doesn't require full-fledged implementation, and manual reporting may be an option. But if organization structure is complex, especially when the company has, local operational business, has plans to get bigger, to get more market share, the manual work maybe in future it may be difficult. So this model helps us to understand what to offer. We have such model for each market, and it may be useful even for you if you want if you know your strategic goals, and you may decide whether your company needs automation or not, you also can use this model. Of course, the decision is not only based on cost effectiveness. There may be a, like we call it, global will, a corporate standard, or a fear of new implementation. Of course, it's easier to go with the current customer, or with the current supplier. No need to onboard new supplier, but this fear may be even rational. But in any cases, we stick to our philosophy. Listen to customer. If your decision as the customer is to avoid capex, we offer zero capex project. If the decision to start with manual work, so I don't want automation, I will do it manually. Of course, we also have such kind of services that will help you with manual work. By the way, let's talk about them. This is IT structure. I'm kidding. Of course, it's not IT structure, but yes, this is IT structure of track and trace in manual mode. In the central, you see data governance specialist. If our customer by any reason would like to postpone its automation and start with manual reporting, we have a pool of professionals that can implant, that we can implant to your operations team, and you can delegate them manual operations and data integrity control. We use specific tools to simplify the operations control, and these tools will be transferred further in fully automate IT structure. If you decide to automate, these tools will help you to do that. As soon as you decide implement track and trace, our specialists also can take part in this implementation project. So it's kind of, the specialist that can support your operations, manual operation processes, and can solve the problem related to track and trace. I would like to know that this is not an ex-student and so on. They are professional engineers with expertise in data governance. From our side, there are two types of such kind of services. The first one, we call it, lazy service. For permanent shipment, it's a classical data governance. If you have big amount of work, when your operations volumes are big enough to hire dedicated specialists, you don't need to hire them. We can provide it to you. The second option here is our new service for customers with very low business complexity. For example, if you're just entering the market and you don't have a lot of deliveries, you have rare shipments. For these services, we can share the data governance resources with another customers. So it's kind of data governance service desk. You use the service as soon as you have need for this service. For example, to support a specific delivery. Of course, all these services, as they are services, they have SLA. We provide also financial responsibility for the work of our personnel. So we will make sure that everything will go smooth and safe. Okay, the manual work is good, but we are developers, we are integrators. So let's talk about systems. And this is now a real IT structure of track and trace landscape. What is important here? When we developed our system, we had a great desire to give maximum automation on the local market. Therefore, we maintain a complete reporting chain for each market. This means that, firstly, local teams will have a full-fledged interface for necessary checks, for reconciliations. And if your business expands, you will have a full automated chain from one supplier, from Utrace. But there is another issue. Market complexity equals to system complexity. So onboarding a new market makes system more heavy, less flexible, and generally very expensive. But we wouldn't like to turn into SAP in that case. In this case, we decided to solve this problem differently, and we solve this problem by reusing microservices and creating, the universal integration models inside of a system with a flexible architecture. This can be compared, to Lego, children's Lego, when you do not need to recreate the cabin or to recreate a wheel to assemble the model. The parts fit together just like in our system. You want to add new market? Okay, we give you just one part to be applied to the whole model. It not only speed ups the implementation, but also makes it cheaper and also improves the user experience. And you need to switch to different systems, you know, and it usually it's a nightmare. So we decided to to get out of this.
So
If we
a small pause here, we are halfway through the session. So I will request all participants to, post their questions in the Q&A section, which you see on the top portion of your screen in Teams. And you can always, send us questions over email as well. But we would like to hear you as well and take your questions in the Q&A session coming up in the next 30 minutes. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Arjun. Okay, if we are talking about how we address different types of client needs, the client with complex business model usually implement a full-fledged solution. We will talk about it a bit later, about the details of this solution. But if the client needs automation, but the cost efficiency is low, for example, the amount of product that you sell on the specific market is low, we have developed a, let's say, boxed, clustered Utrace solution, where you can share the cost of this solution with different other customers. So how it works? We combine several clients with similar business parameters into one cluster. We offer them subscription and support sharing. And the cluster includes from 5 to 10 clients. So this subscription becomes several times cheaper and much cheaper than that of competitors. Of course, there are limitations of this model, but basically there are administrative things such as, prepayment for several periods to simplify the closure of accounting, reduce SLA indicators, and so on. But in any case, this is a great opportunity to start with if you don't have enough money to invest in the separate automated solution. In conclusion, we can say that if we place our product on the product matrix, we will close the needs for track and trace in any company of any size, and we will be ready for the fast implementation, and we are ready for the clients grow. As soon as your business will grow, we will offer more and more powerful and automated solution. For example, you can start with data governance, then you can go to clustered solution, and if you grow further, you can seamlessly transfer to the enterprise solution. That's what we call cost efficiency. Okay, and now I can just briefly give you a few details about our system, some technical aspects. As you remember, before that, we highlighted important aspects of the customer experience. As I told, we outlined 5 of them, which are most important. And our solution for each market meets 4 principles. For each principle, we have much of the customer experience aspects with this principle. For example, Utrace Hub features fully supported supply chain process. It means that we cover flexibility and reaction for change needs. Multiple GMP validated, industry proofed and secure solution matches with reliability. One solution for emerging markets, including Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, India, Asia Pacific, CIS, also meets unit economy and reaction for change needs, and also tailoring to business needs, keeping unified processes is also matches to unit economy and flexibility. I should say that Utrace Hub is truly level 4 solution. It doesn't matter matter what is on 3 level. So you may choose any equipment you want from Rockwell or from Antares. It doesn't matter. All markets with upcoming track and trace is more likely that they will be integrated to our IT landscape, and we most probably have solved the major integration and methodological issues with these countries. Full track and trace in Russia, for example, is the most complex and covers end-to-end market processes. The rest of the markets are much easier. So if you cover Russian requirements, you cover the major requirements for the rest of the serialization regulators. Plus, we have mobile app. It's independent L3 solution for own warehouses. With mobile Utrace mobile app, you can check hierarchy, make stock taking procedures, make hierarchy changes procedures on your warehouse if your warehouse is not automated. And of course, we are integrated to different customs brokers, for example, in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, and for different WMS systems. Utrace gives you multi-market approach. As I told, it's like a Lego, children's Lego, with ability to keep your current process on your factories as is, and we are using, smart solution. We call it the router, that can be programmed on the specific way of work, and that is why we distinguish between the requests from your production site, route the specific request to the specific production system. Also, we can add the necessary, add the necessary information to the request based on the way and based on the route that we send this request. Also, we have ready-made integrations with major L3 and L4 systems. Like if you, for example, production site works with TraceLink, we work with TraceLink formats like 2018 or 2020.3. We work with each of them. If you use, for example, CVision on Taris or Rockwell solution, we also have integrations with these vendors. And of course, we have very good visual tools to control the process from the end user side. I will go through the screenshots of our system, so you will see that it's true. And Utrace also supports all processes and can register all product movements for each of your company. If you are a merchant exporter or large factory, you can use our full-fledged solutions. If you are a small and medium plant, you can use our manual solution, manual work data governance solution, or you can use our box solution, clustered solution. So we can cover different needs for different clients, depends, as I told before, on their business maturity. And of course, the processes are supported very, very different, including serialization aggregation on the customs warehouse in the target country, serialization with local plants, 3PL processes, and so on and so on. You can see some of the supported processes. I outlined it on the right side. So actually, solution can cover all needs of each customer. Generally, we don't show live demos at large webinars. If somebody wants to see how the system works live, please email me and we will make an individual demonstration. My colleagues will show you the system, which will be, this demonstration will be relevant with your tasks and with your business. Here, I will only show a few useful interfaces. For example, the codes order request, which can include serial number order request or cryptographic request. Each request has its own status, and for each request you can track the status of each request, when and how it was changed. Of course, you can fall into this request and see all the corresponding receipts from the government system, so you can check the status and the problem. If problem arises in any of the step, you can see this problem just by clicking this request. Of course, you can download any log in one click and send it to the regulator service desk. If, for example, the problem with the specific request, the regulator can help you only if you see the logs. So downloading logs is very important, the quick downloading. Also, we have codes usage report interface where you can check what codes were applied and what codes fall in error. Utilization report, also you can pack it in one operation. So you see all the steps of the process from utilization order till foreign emission in one place. So we just need to open the specific document or the specific request on the specific date, and you will see all the necessary information to track your process. And of course, we have error journals where you can easily track the reason of the error with human readable text, where the error code, where it occurred, the error type, and potential options how to solve this error. And also we have error notifications for the end users, so it may help end users to briefly react on the problem. Of course, we have reports for code history where you can track the codes based on batch, based on the specific code, individual code, or based on the document. And all regulatory events you will see in the events list. Also, they are in one interface, and you also can make different comparisons with them. And the event list has also detailed event overview by tracking ID. So from each part of interface, you can go to the by tracking ID, you can fall into the specific event and see the status of the specific event. And of course, event list provides you regulatory and system status. What does it mean? We in Utrace we have we call it validation layer. Validation layer works directly the same as L5 system does, as government system does, and it means that each request or each response to the government system, each report will be validated before it was sent. In this case, the status of regulator status and the status system status should be the same. But sometimes happens that, for example, the regulator on the regulator side there is an error, and in this case you can see that the status, for example, in our system is posted, but in regulator status it's cancelled or there is an error. It means that there is an error not on our side but on regulator side. So you can contact regulator, send them logs, and solve this problem. And of course, we have different reports with SGC history, with smart search, up and down hierarchy tracks, so you can check your hierarchy or whether your SSC is inside another SSC. And we have very good visual tools which help you to build reports by batches with the amount comparison. You can have reports by events, regulatory events, so you can see which events were fault into error. And also we have report by inbound and outbound integration messages, so you can see what problem arise with your integrations with the system. Okay, that's it for let's say for demo slides. Again, if you want to receive a full demo for your company, just email me, we will arrange. Let's talk about project management. How fast are we? And is it possible to implement your project, in very briefly, or maybe even without any capex? Yes, it's possible. Our standard projects, if this is a new market, for you and new market for us, usually our project falls into 6-8 months. But if the project is standard for us, for example, you are going to enter CIS country, the standard project is much more shorter in time. This is example of CIS country project where we implement in 2-3 months with automated exchange with all necessary regulatory systems. After that, we provide unlimited hypercare support. As soon as your project is fully transferred to BAU, the hypercare support finishes. But until that, we provide hypercare, and the project team works together with the business team to make the smooth transfer to business as usual. Also, we have accelerated project. Usually we implement it for clustered solution. For example, if you want to share the subscription with other companies and you agree to get into the cluster, the implementation will be very, very fast. Maybe in 1 or 2 months, we can go live with the clustered solution. And if we're talking about manual work, providing you well-trained personnel for data governance and for managing your serialization, manual managing your serialization, it takes only 2 weeks to onboard the specialist. For example, if you are not ready for Kazakhstan and for Uzbekistan, you can take data governance service for 2 or 3 months. The data governance specialist will manually do all the necessary reporting tasks, and during this period you will start implementation of the automated system, and after that we complete with data governance service, and you start your automated serialization journey. Okay, in any case, nevertheless, what you have chosen, we never compromise on quality. We provide all necessary GAMP5 documentation pack with all the required documentation. And if you need validation services, our partners, CONVAL Group, will give you the validation services. And together with CONVAL Group, the validation is fully covered by the project. So we provide the necessary documentation during the project, and CONVAL Group, as the separate third party, will validate the system. And also a few words about our customer care. As I said earlier, we have not only we are not only a product team. We have more than 30 people working in client services, including specialists in data governance, implanted to the clients. And we thought that we could combine this experience, and as well as we can introduce, some lean manufacturing concept, because we are a product company. We don't want our system to have, bugs or errors. That's why the task of our customer service is to prevent errors, not to solve the problems, but to prevent the errors. And of course, the lean manufacturing is a whole philosophy. That's why we're recruiting young guys for leadership program, and from early stages they start working with in slightly different paradigm. I wanted to say that we, as a product company, unlike the usual service desk, which many of our competitors outsource, our client services are the important part on the way to improve our product. So what does it mean? What tools we use? Our team is focused on proactive incidents research. So we implement RCA tools where we go to deep root cause analysis for each error. And our main concept is zero incidents concept. We plan to reach 0 incidents by the end of 2024. And it means that our customers will not suffer from any problem which is connected with Utrace. Now we have decreased the amount of errors very, very significantly, and by the way, most of our customers doesn't suffer from stops by track and trace or serialization reason, which is based on our system. And of course, we not only cover our own bugs. For example, if we see that we can prevent the bug that was arised from the regulator side, or can arise from integration, we can provide different solution how to prevent these bugs as well. So the stability of our system and stability of our services is very important, and the customer service and our help desk gives a lot to reach that task. On the most important components, one of the most important components that simplify the work of end users is a single service desk that helps our customers to solve problem not only related, as I told, not only related to our system, but also related to related to other systems. For example, on the side of regulator, problems with hierarchy, with resorting problems, and so on, so on. So the single service point helps you to use one tool for each problem that arises with serialization. And of course, I talked about financial responsibility. I can say that each of service contract that we have, we use the subscription model. So our services for our system are paid monthly. But if we violate SLA, for example, we violate availability or violate some reporting, you can ask us to reduce the this cost of this service. Generally, it never happened, but still it demonstrates that we are serious about that, and we are ready to take responsibility and with financial responsibility for any problem that may arise with our system. And here you can see how we calculate SLA. Okay, I'm almost finishing. We have just few slides to wrap up the meeting. First of all, I want to come back with our partnership with CONVAL Group. CONVAL Group is a well-known company in India and Asia Pacific market. So I hope that CONVAL Group will provide very good service together with us for the customers in India region. We are happy to provide you the most efficient, cost-efficient solution, and of course we will not sell you one approach for each of you. Of course, for each company we have separate approach, cost-efficient approach, and we will not sell you the product if we know that you are not going to implement it. And from the side of CONVAL Group, you can get business consulting, project management, implementation services, and validation services. And from our side, you can take IT consulting, you can take track and trace solutions of different kind, customer service, and data governance. Here you see some benefits, for CONVAL Group and for Utrace. First benefit is that we are reliable suppliers. We have a lot of successful implementations, a lot of customer clients. CONVAL Group has more than 1,600 projects has completed with different customers throughout the world. Also, the cost efficiency is very important for Indian market. I know it, and we will provide you the best efficiency than any competitor can does. Also, we have great experience in validation, in quality, and fast reaction on all changes. They are, for example, in Utrace, they are secured with the subscription. For example, if something changes in let's say in Kazakhstan regulatory system, or in Russia regulatory system, or for example in Bahrain regulatory system, you will not pay for that change because it is covered by subscription. And we of course provide outstanding level of automation, not even high level, but outstanding level of automation. We don't want any manual work in our work. So if you want this, we can provide this. Okay, so and I know that there are regulators today on our meeting from Bangladesh, from Philippines. It's very important to outline. And as soon as I saw that you have joined, thank you very much again for joining us as well. I created another slide with key benefits of Utrace collaboration with regulator, because in each country, in Russia, in Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, in Bahrain, we collaborate with regulator. We, for example, we split it into four main points. The first is education of the market. It's very important for regulator to educate your customers so they understand the principles, how they will work in future. They will understand what they need to change, and so on. Utrace conducted more than 10 offline events in different countries. It conducted 24 plus serialization talks this, as I told in the beginning, our educational events. We do not sell on serialization talks. We just say how to comply, how the companies make comply, and we have very good attendance in serialization talks. For example, in Uzbekistan serialization, the recent serialization talks, we took more than 300 people from pharma companies and more than 100 people from global pharma companies on. So the webinars of serialization talks, they are very popular, and I hope that together with you we can educate the customers either in Philippines or in Bangladesh and so on. We help in answering questions. Utrace has handled more than 1,000 requests to clarify technical and process details. It's very helpful for you because you don't need to answer each question. We can help you with that. Also, we provide methodological helps. Utrace knows regulations of different countries and ready to support regulators with technical and methodological questions. We can provide our service desk, for example, or we can start up the service desk on your site, and we can provide you with staffing solutions. And of course, Utrace solution itself can be implemented on L5 level. Now we have one project with one country where we are negotiating to use Utrace as the government solution. And of course, we ready to invest. We are open to local presence. We have opened different offices, as you see on this slide, and we are ready to open new offices in new countries if it is required for our collaboration. So colleagues from the foreign regulator, please call us, and we will make your educational part of your work, market educational part of your work, and of course we will make your company's onboarding more smooth. It's just our task as you have same task. So that's it from my side. That's it for today's presentation. We have approximately 20 minutes to come up with questions. Again, thanks everybody for joining. Please feel free to ask your questions. Maybe Mr. Arjun has something to add.
Thank you so much, Arif, and I really appreciate the energy which you showed in your presentation. It was really very enriching experience even for me after being in the serialization domain for more than 10 plus years. But this was something which even like after going through the slide deck and your presentation, it all sounded so well coalesced together. And that's really something which the industry has to understand, that sitting in silos with various different solutions, trying to make them work together is something, that's what Utrace is. You don't need to look around and search for various solution providers. You have everything under one roof with Utrace. And as I can see also that your solutions are supporting markets across the world. B is that you support large organizations, very large organizations, and also small merchant exporters in handling their exports business. And that's exactly where Utrace becomes so significantly important in this region of the world. So I thank you, and I also thank the CEOs and managing directors of Utrace and CONVAL who have joined this meeting along with the other participants, clearly showing the importance of both companies in this webinar and conducting this webinar. And thank you both for doing that. So I'll jump in now to a panel discussion and a Q&A session, if it is okay with you, Arif.
Yeah, that's fine. That's sure.
Okay, so let's pick up a few questions from the participants. So first question, are you working with RFXL, L4 and Jackson? So that's the first question. So it's basically just to be, let you know about India, we have lots of local vendors like Jackson, Utopia, ACG, then you have Propix and so on. So there are many Condot, and there are many small local Indian vendors, but there are also some of them are very big. They're exporting across India to various countries. So are you working with, integrating that? I know you have already answered the question, but let's hear it out from you.
Yeah. Thank you, Arjun. Thank you for the question. Yes, sure. We work with different formats. We support. We have already ready integrations with most of the track and trace providers. RFXL, I need to check what format we support, but we have client with RFXL in Russia, and we integrated the global RFXL with the local Utrace. So I know that it's not, integration is not a big problem, It's for us, we can integrate every site system with Utrace, and our principle is to keep your current integration as is. If you use RFXL, for example, as L4 solution, and you just want to add new markets, and you want to have these markets in more onboard this market in more cost-efficient way, we can split the flows from RFXL. For example, the one flow which belongs to the markets in the United States, for example, or in Europe, it will go through RFXL, but the flow for emerging markets like for Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan will go through Utrace. Of course, it will require some change on the RFXL side, so RFXL can distinguish and can route these flows to different ways, but still this task was done on different other clients, so it's not a problem for RFXL as well. So the answer is like this. And talking about formats, of course, we support different formats. We support standard PCIs, we support trace-link formats, HTTP formats, and if we need to take the data in another format, it's also possible, because we, as I told, we have 6+ specialists in product development, so it will not take much time, to develop this integration. But still, RFXL is okay.
Okay, super. Thanks a lot. Next, I will club two questions into one because both are asking the same. What value Utrace brings to manufacturers for CIS market as compared to your competitors? And there is another question is, I would like to know more details about difference between Uzbek and Russia guidelines. In what manner Uzbek is different from the Russia guidelines? Okay, let me answer first on the second part of the question, because it's very important. Today we introduced, that we will talk about CIS countries, but I understand that maybe it was not so much information today. In any case, you can contact me, and I will make you a separate presentation if you want, for the specifics of Uzbekistan and Russia and Kazakhstan serialization. But in general, in Russia, let me even show this slide. I have it here. Yes. In Russia, we have two types of system. We have MDLP system, dedicated for medicines, and we have a GSMT system, dedicated to the rest of the products, including medical devices, food supplements, and so on. Generally, these two systems differs very much. For example, MDLP system requires a lot of different reports. It depends on the processes. For example, there is a the reports. If the sender is reporting is one pack of reports. If the receiver is reporting is another pack of reports. And each step of product movement should be reported in MDLP for Russia serialization. But if we're talking about non-medicines, for example, for food supplements, in Russia we use
GSMT system. It's a separate system. It's much more simple. And this GSMT system doesn't require to, to report with internal movements or to report the specific parts of the processes. We just need to report code submission, entering codes into circulation, and selling and withdrawal. Only 4 main parts of business processes. But still, there are a lot of specifics there, but GSMT is much more simple compared to MDLP in Russia. And the countries like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and the rest, Eastern European countries, they will choose, and they are choosing, their GSMT-like system. So they didn't take MDLP, this very, complex system. They choose the less complex system, GSMT. And for example, in Russia, we do not only work with medicines, we also work with milk producers, we work with tire producers, and so on. And for example, in Russia, we have the biggest milk producer onboarded as our client, who is using Utrace with billions, of SGTs per year. And our GSMT system, our system Utrace, which works with GSMT, it covers all the necessary requirements of GSMT. And as soon as Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan implemented the same system on their side, we just copied the methods of GSMT, and we were already ready for this serialization. So Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan are much simpler, and of course they also have the specifics. For example, for Uzbekistan, it's important to get electronic signature for MEH, and it's another very let's say hard process, especially if you are, for example, Indian company. You have to go to Uzbekistan embassy. You have to have this power of attorney to the personnel who will receive this electronic signature, and it's a very hard process to do. In Kazakhstan, you don't have such specifics. For example, in Uzbekistan, you should report aggregations in OMS. It's the system which work with code submission. But in Kazakhstan, aggregations usually should be sent to the traceability system. So there are a lot of differences, but still, generally, the API methods are the same, and we are ready for this API methods. So the implementation doesn't take so much time. If you have implemented already this for, for example, in Russian milk producers. Okay, and the second question is regarding the criteria that differs us from the competitors. Yeah. I put it in, in this slide. First of all, we have more experience than any of the competitor, especially if we're talking about CIS countries in Russia. 40% of market share is Utrace in Russia, for example. Yeah. So we are the leaders on the Russian market, so we have much more experience, and we have much more experience even in problem solving and in project management for these countries. And of course, our solution itself is different because we do not go on the way that we implement new solution for new market, or we do not create, just the connectors for this market. We have, as I told, like a Lego, we have the system, and you can apply different, microservices to this system to onboard different markets. For example, if today we have Kazakhstan, okay, we put this microservice, switch on this microservice for you. You will start reporting with Kazakhstan. If it is necessary to onboard, for example, Kyrgyzstan in future, you will just onboarding it, and you do not spend so much time and efforts and money for onboarding these markets. That's why we can say that we provide more flexibility and more unit economy for our services. And also regarding unit economy, as I told, nobody makes like we do. Nobody does like we do because we can provide shared solution. So if, for example, there are 3 or 4 companies with the same IT, with a similar business landscape, we can implement this solution in one cluster. Of course, you have separate instance. The data will not be shared between these customers, but still the cluster itself, the IT cluster, is one. So the subscription cost can be shared, and the customer service cost may be shared. It means that you will have even more cost efficiency for the market if you, for example, do not need the separate solution, or you do not have a very complex supply chain. And the last thing is, but not the least, is keeping stability zones, because what usually vendors say then when they come to you and you are asking them to implement a new system, they ask, can you support our format? Can you just say us what market we should route this request? But we do not ask that. We understand that you do not want to change your IT landscape. I know that you do not want to change your production side. In that case, we're providing more flexibility, you know, on the level of Utrace. Yeah, let me just again show you this slide. Yes, it's here. Yeah, so we mostly the routing tasks will be done on the smart routing with our routing model. And of course, as I told, we have ready-made integrations with possibility to onboard new markets easily and new sites easily. I think that's a very big advantage compared to the other vendor solutions.
Thank you, Arif. So, I mean, we are almost out of time. So I will just request now the CEOs of Utrace and also for CONVAL to come online and thank the participants because we have FDAs also joining from various parts of the world. So I'll request Mr. Konstantin Ivanov from Utrace, CEO of Utrace, to come online, and also I'll request Mr. Timur Kabadai, CEO of CONVAL Group, to come online and say your last words and thank the participants. Appreciate it.
Looks like the microphones are switched off from our colleagues, but
super. So
actually, it's not a problem. Konstantin is here.
I see.
Yeah, I was muted. Yeah. Thank you very much for all the participants for visiting our webinars. Yeah, and it's a pleasure to see here both representative of FDAs and authorities from different countries. And I hope that this presentation was interesting for you. And as Arif said, it is really can be efficient partnership with you, because we have an idea how to quickly implement track and trace solutions in new countries and support with education of industries and all the market participants. And big thanks to all participants from the business side. And as Arif said, we have a very strong focus on the emerging markets, yeah, because we see that many of the well-known brands have a lack of localizations, their solutions, and lack of the focus for emerging markets. And we see during the last years that track and trace and serialization requirements is coming to more and more countries, and mostly in emerging countries. And so that's why we decided to focus ourselves on working with these emerging countries like Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Indonesia, India, and so on, and to offer the best solution for these countries with high level of automation, with a low level of manual operations, with our partner CONVAL Group, who will be ready to provide implementation services together with us. Yeah, and in more details, I think we can personally explain our approach of working with emerging countries. Thank you, Timur.
Thank you, Konstantin. Appreciate it. Timur,
you.
You are mute. Would you like to make some comments if you're available?
Okay, it looks like we have some, maybe connection issues with Timur, but still, thanks again. I think that we can close the today's session. Once again, if you have any questions regarding the track and trace implementation, regarding your potential projects or your potential coming into new emerging markets, please let us know. You can contact Madan Joshi from CONVAL Group or me from Utrace side. Any questions will be answered. Again, if you need a demonstration of a product, you can also let me know. We will do that. Okay, so thanks everybody for joining. Thank you, colleagues from CONVAL Group, also for coming to this and for organizing this discussion. I wish you a very pleasant day, very pleasant evening, and have a nice day. Thanks again.
Thank you, everybody, and have a nice rest of day. And thanks for joining this session. You will receive the recording of this session in a day or two once we completely compile this session. And we look forward to meeting you again by this month itself. We are trying to have another session where we will get into a little bit more technical, in various markets. And I hope that you will also participate in those sessions wholeheartedly as you did today. So we will announce the next sessions in a few days' time. And I look forward to meeting up with all of you once again. Thank you all and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Thank you.